And the supermoon too.
Come on over here. Come in close. See if we have some warmth to share. Well, the first thing I want to say tonight, because I always have something to say, is 6-7. 6-7, everybody, 6-7. 6-7. And you know what it means, right?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I'll start out. I have nothing to say, and I'm going to say it. So we clouded out a bit, but it looks sunny. But this alignment, with some accuracy, points to where the sun sets on the first day of winter. The winter solstice. Solstice means to stand still. So, you know, and this is a moment. It's a second that it stays there, and then it turns this way. It goes very slow. I suspect you could come up here plus or minus a week, and it will be in the same place. And of course, it really revs up when it gets towards the equinox. The time the daylight changes really shifting, and it goes up here. I began to look at this particular rock calendar as really a place of truth, and that's what I have to say today. Because of course, if you watch the weather reports, they say, oh, the first day of winter is December 1st, the first day of summer is June 1st. Even the Vatican computes, of course, when they're going to celebrate Easter by, you know, it's the first Sunday after the first full moon after the vernal equinox. Well, they've decided that and we know, you know, there's a leap year, so the vernal equinox goes from the 20th to 21st, 22nd. They've decided just to call it on the 21st always. And all sorts of things are making us not pay attention to nature. So that's why I call this the truth. A couple things I want to correct about that. It isn't the sunset. You know, the earth is turning. So our language doesn't even reflect the truth for the last 500 years. And it's not the solstice. The sun isn't really standing still. It always stands still relative to the solar system. It's all our motion. It's all our revolution around the sun and our diurnal day and night rotation on our axis. That's the truth. This is a model that shows that truth. So we haven't. Someday I see we'll probably change our language. We won't be talking sunsets and sunrises. We'll have some language change that reconnects us to nature. That said, does anyone else have nothing to say and want to say it? Does everyone know everyone here?
Almost.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I see so many great supporters of the medicine wheel up here, and some people I don't know, as always. But I always call this the second Halloween because everyone's always dressed up, so you don't really know who you are. Matt Nielsen.
Should we do a little understanding of this so that way they can see the earth moving?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start in this position. So like Dr. Stickler said, we have the solstice, but what really is going on is that our tilt is this direction. So our tilt's this direction. The southern hemisphere is having their first day of summer. So they have the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, but up here in the northern hemisphere, we're pointed away. So we're pointed away, and as we are pointed away, that we receive the least amount of light possible right now, and that makes it the first day of winter. But now, what's happening as we go around the sun, we don't shift this. So if this is our position right now, if I went 90 degrees around it, so if we all walked 90 degrees, what's going to happen is that relative to the wheel, I'm going to be faced this way. So when I'm faced this way, 90 degrees around, now at sunset, the entire Earth is going to have half day, half night. That's why it's called the equinox. And that's going to be 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night, no matter where you are. If you go another 90 degrees, approximately 90 days, so instead of being, so this is the solstice, what's going to happen is I'll be faced this way, and now I'm going to be facing the sun as far as I can, receiving the maximum amount of light and the maximum amount of daytime. But it's not us, our tilt is not changing. We are staying pointed this direction all the time, and when I'm walking around the circle, I will continue having my hand facing that direction, but the angle of which the sun's light hitting us changes because of our orbit.
I want to say Matt Nielsen teaches at the Valley City High School, and his STEM students this year contributed over 90 volunteer hours up here, helping me maintain this place.
And my astronomy class came up here several times for observations and understanding the meridian calendar and the solar calendar and the walk of the planets and the scale of the universe. So this has been a great place to teach astronomy as well. So thank you, Dr. Stick.
So in reality, 6 months from now, we'll be directly on the other side of the sun with the same tilt.
Yes, which people don't think about is our day is actually 23 hours and 56 minutes. So one turn is 23 hours and 56 minutes. So it takes me 23 hours and 56 minutes to get to here, but as I traveled around the sun, it takes me an extra 4 minutes to get me back to face the sun. So our day is from perfect noon to perfect noon is 24 hours. But one rotation is actually 23 hours, 56 minutes, and it takes an extra 4 minutes to get back to face the sun.
And I want to add on to that, since we're each telling truths, that in fact, we should add to Matt's plus or minus 17 minutes, because the days vary in time, because sometimes we're closer to the sun, a little bit closer, and that makes the day a little shorter, and sometimes we're farther away, and that makes the day a little longer. So the day is, well, we'll say 24 hours plus or minus 17 minutes. This is just an average. Come around, yeah. We're hoping the sun still has a few minutes to pop through in the horizon somewhere. At any rate, if the sun were up, then we'd see it right along this rock alignment perfectly like that. We would see the sunset. And the celebration of the day is, even though we're just getting to winter because of the thermal lag, at least the sun's coming back to the northern hemisphere. And lots of, probably that's the origin of a lot of our celebrations around this time of year. Wes Anderson, you want to say something?
No.
What? I'm just glad we don't always have the truths, because otherwise we probably wouldn't get 2 weeks off of school. Yeah. because the first day of winter actually is where they tried to align Christmas, is actually the new year of most cultures. So if they put everything on one day, we would probably only have a 3-day weekend and we have to go back to school. So I'm glad we don't follow the truth all the time, that we can have 2 weeks off and go back to school in January. Yeah.
This is the line you're talking about?
Yes. I'm getting into it now. This is the sunset on the first day of winter.
on that first little tear, there's the first day of summer. That's 72-degree angle.
Wow.
You want to know what that angle that Matt was talking about. You keep building these till you get down to the equator. The 70-degree angle from solstice to solstice shrinks to 47 degrees. Then you divide 47 by 2, and you get 23.5 degrees, and that's the tilt of the axis to the plane of the solstice. So, you know, one way or another, all of the horizon calendars have some sort of shape like this. But this is fashioned after a Native American medicine wheel. But it has another element into it. If you count these spokes around the wheel, you see that there's 28 spokes. That's the lunar calendar. That's an attribution to the lunar calendar. Because before humans caught on to the celestial events, causing the calendar, they thought the other celestial event, the moon, was much more dramatic. So most calendars, almost all calendars, were lunar calendars to begin with. And probably not that far back, because as we read in the Bible, Methuselah was 969 years old. But if you divide that by the lunar cycle, he's 5 years younger than I am. So, he's a young guy.
And the Chinese calendar uses the lunar, so when they say this is the year of the dragon or the year of something, that's the lunar calendar.
And don't fishermen use the lunar calendar?
Yeah, sometimes.
I see it. It used to appear in the newspaper. Does it still?
And there's 28 plates in the carapace of a turtle.
There's what?
There's 28 plates in the carapace of its turtle. So the turtle is involved with the lunar.
Oh, sure.
Joe, you need to move a couple of drops just about 2 inches to the side, okay?
Well, you know, it looked like it was completely misaligned.
I don't know where the brakes and plows are. I don't know if the ends actually there. If we just have little brakes and the plow to the right side.
You know, you increase the accuracy with a tool like this by having your points further apart. In the Southwest, where the Hopi and the Pueblo Indians keep calendars like this, they just have a sacred place because everything has such a landscape to it that if there's one standing place, then you can look off to the landscape and see where the sun sets each day. Although, hey, this is a pretty good day for the winter solstice. I've seen more dramatic things. So you're ready to take the quiz? I want to address that issue. I have no problem with people thinking the Earth is flat. Because, you know, in astronomy, everything is about two things. How it appears and how it actually is. If we look out in the heavens, and I'll give you a good example of that. If we look out into the heavens, and I ask you to list the bright stars in order, you wouldn't get it. Because the stars are at different distances from us. So how far away they are and how bright they are, they're related. So there's the apparent and the absolute brightness of stars. So there's a lot of things in astronomy like that. And the Earth is another one of those. You know, well, if you live in North Dakota, you certainly might think the Earth was flat. Kathy? Are we ever? And I've changed it a little bit. So, please repeat after me. I feel connected to Mother Earth. I feel connected to Father Sky. I feel connected to the universe. Now I'm going to say a couple things. One, really the only one of those three chants that is relevant to us is Mother Earth. You know, we're pretty much an isolated system here. So that's what we have to think about. That's what we have to take care of. And another, let's think about that in some other terms, because I just read this great book, Human Universe. And he talks about astrology. You know, I'd say 25% of my astronomy classes, people call it an astrology class. But of course, that's the horoscope and everything. Telling you what kind of personality you have. Well, think about it before you knew anything. The most important stars were the stars that you saw the sun and the moon progress through as it went on. The zodiac signs. So people just thought that was very important. What did they see in the zodiac signs? What really was impressive was 7 objects that they could see out in the heavens that moved. All the constellations, all the stars kept staying the same and seasonally rotated around, but there were 7 wanderers. And you know what they are? The sun, Sunday, the moon, Monday, and then the planets, the other 5 visible planets, Venus through Saturn. So Saturday, the others you have to get But then, and of course, the week is just another one of those apparent things. But people tied their beliefs to that. Astrology was important. Probably doesn't have. You probably shouldn't decide who you want to get married, young people, by astrological signs.